too much.
Finally, someone who gets it. Finally, someone in the WNBA who understands this thing called business.
Jacy Sheldon tried to play tough, but Sophie Cunningham turned her into a blooper reel on legs. One moment Sheldon was trying to throw her weight around, the next she was clowned so badly the game felt like a comedy special. This wasn't defense, it was slapstick. Sophie didn't just shut her down, she put on a show, mixing toughness, sass, and humiliation. If you thought WNBA action was all fundamentals, Cunningham proved it can double as pure chaotic entertainment.
Of course, Sophie Cunningham owned Jacy Sheldon from the same game that Marina Mabrey did the massive body slam into Caitlin Clark on. And of course, later in the game, Sophie Cunningham would take her rightful place as the Indiana Fever enforcer, and I believe took the first step to her becoming the second most popular player in the WNBA.
Jacy Sheldon picked the absolute worst day to cosplay as a tough guy. She tried sneaking in that cheap shot, probably thinking it would scream grit and grind, but instead, Sophie Cunningham turned the whole thing into a live comedy special. Whatever highlight Sheldon imagined got erased and replaced with Sophie handing her a steaming platter of humiliation. This wasn't basketball, it was Sophie holding auditions for Most Embarrassing Extra in a sports sitcom. And Sheldon nailed the part. Her body language after Sophie clapped back was brutal, the kind of awkward regret you feel when you hit send on a text to your ex at 3 a.m.
Crap on a basketball court. And a lot of people don't want to watch that. They want to just watch basketball. Again, the league's been handed this miracle, this beacon of light, while it was down in some dungeon in the basement on life support, and it was never turned a pro.
Sophie Cunningham brings this vibe where she's all laughs and loyalty off the court, but the second you cross her between the lines, it's game over. That switch flipped the moment Jacy Sheldon tried her cheap stunt. Sophie didn't just clap back, she dismantled her. It was less a response and more a statement, leaving Sheldon's fake tough routine in shambles. The whole act collapsed faster than a soggy fast food taco, and Sophie made sure the lesson was loud and permanent.
There's a celebration today in the WNBA dump. The Bub Bongo Band playing all the classics as dump divers enjoy the fiesta. We will miss layups. Or my new personal favorite, it's the remix to Ignition, R. Kelly is in prison, and the WNBA.
If you're enjoying, please leave a like and subscribe our channel. Let's get one thing straight, this wasn't your typical on-court dust-up. This was Sophie Cunningham planting her flag, roaring like a lioness laced up in Nikes. The second Sheldon tried her little cheap shot, Sophie delivered an answer so sharp it echoed louder than the whistle. You could feel the energy shift. The crowd got it, the commentators got it, and deep down, even Sheldon's sneakers seemed ready to walk themselves off the floor in embarrassment. What makes it hilarious is that Sheldon truly thought she was stepping into the role of intimidator, the muscle, the one who'd set the tone. Instead, she walked headfirst into Sophie's highlight reel of humiliation. Lesson learned, don't poke the wrong competitor.
All right, so here keep an eye on Clark and Jacy Sheldon, right? Clark trying to back down Sheldon. Sheldon fouls Clark. Clark a little upset because she feels like she got poked in the eye, but then watch Marina Mabrey here. She sees what's happening. She comes.
The WNBA has seen plenty of fiery moments, but this one? Pure stand-up comedy wrapped in a basketball game. It was so lopsided that memes practically started making themselves before the scoreboard even settled. Sheldon wanted to step into the villain role, but villains only land when they inspire fear. Instead, she showed up with nervous substitute teacher vibes. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham pulled out the ultimate combo, the class clown who cracks everyone up, but also secretly holds all the power. One tried, the other completely owned the stage.
With somebody playing the new role of Dejanay Carrington, Jacy Sheldon, we had Caitlin Clark getting teed up involved in the incident. How does that happen? You've got Marina Mabrey just coming in and Mabrey just crashing into Caitlin Clark, of course, slamming her to the ground.
Now, can we just take a second to appreciate how Sophie didn't even break a sweat while embarrassing Sheldon? That's next level stuff. This wasn't a heated back and forth where both sides looked tough. No, this was Sophie treating it like casual cardio. Sheldon swung, Sophie swatted it back like she was brushing lint off her jacket. The contrast was so sharp you'd think it was scripted by Netflix. And let's not forget the crowd reaction. They went from confused gasps to full-blown laughter, because nothing hits better than watching someone set up their own downfall in real time. It's like watching a magician try to pull a rabbit out of a hat and instead pull out a parking ticket. The setup had potential, but the payoff was pure embarrassment. If Sheldon thought this was her breakout "don't mess with me" moment, then congratulations, she broke out, all right. She broke out into being the butt of every group chat for the rest of the week. Meanwhile, Sophie casually strolled away like the star of an action movie walking from an explosion. What really seals the deal here is Sophie's reputation. She's not just out here for points, she's out here for statements. And this statement said, in big, bold letters, "If you come at me sideways, you're leaving sideways." Sheldon thought she was laying down the law, but Sophie's the one who actually passed the legislation.
Saying, of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on Jacy Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the...
And here's the kicker, this isn't even the first time Sophie's done this. She's building a highlight reel of clapbacks, humiliations, and perfectly timed "don't mess with me" moments. At this point, she should just release a training video titled "How to End Careers While Still Hitting Threes." Sheldon might want to pre-order it because she clearly needs the lessons. The psychology of this moment is fascinating too. Sheldon tried to throw Sophie off her game with physical intimidation, which is cute in theory. Except Sophie looked more bored than bothered. That's the real humiliation, when you come with your best trick, and the other person yawns in your face before casually dismantling you. That's not just defeat, that's legacy damage. The memes practically wrote themselves. Sheldon's face after Sophie checked her had the exact expression of someone who just realized they picked the wrong checkout line at Walmart. Every second after that was Sophie doubling down, reminding everyone that she's the queen of on-court pettiness and power combined. It's also poetic justice, honestly. Dirty hits don't win championships, but they sure do win you a starring role in your opponent's highlight package. Sheldon was the feature, Sophie was the director, producer, and star. That's how you turn defense into entertainment.
Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Shout out to the Indiana Fever. I'm feeling good, folks. Welcome to WNBA Fight Night, or as some people are saying, WNBA Raw. What?
Somebody needs to check if Sheldon's agent is updating her profile, because after this, her endorsements are less Nike, more oops-proof bandages. Meanwhile, Sophie's stock skyrockets. She doesn't just play, she sets the tone. And the tone of this game was clear: don't mess with Sophie Cunningham unless you're ready to get roasted in high definition. What's even funnier is that Sheldon probably hyped herself up in the locker room before this. You can just imagine her thinking, tonight's the night I make a statement. And she did. It just wasn't the statement she wanted. The WNBA thrives on these rivalries, and this one just got legs. Sheldon versus Sophie might not have been on anyone's radar before, but now. Oh, it's box office. Sophie made sure of that. The storyline is already set, tough talk versus actual toughness. Spoiler alert, actual toughness won, and it wasn't even close. If basketball had Yelp reviews, Sheldon's performance here would get 1 star. Not because she didn't try, but because she tried and failed in the most public, hilarious way possible. Sophie, meanwhile, just earned herself a Michelin star for excellence in humiliation.
Yesterday or the day before, we're talking about an incident once or twice a week, every week in this league. This was not physical play. That's Bush League bullshit. Street ball crap on a basketball court. And a lot of people don't want to watch that. They want to just watch basketball. Again, the league's been handed this miracle, this beacon of light, while it was down in some dungeon in the basement on live.
And the best part? Sophie's not even done. This is just one chapter in her growing legend of serving smoke with a smile. Sheldon? She's the cautionary tale now. The one every rookie is going to watch tape of and think, yeah, maybe I'll just stick to defense. In short, Sophie Cunningham turned what could have been a forgettable cheap shot into an instant classic. Sheldon wanted drama, but Sophie gave her a comedy roast. And in sports, nothing's more humiliating than realizing the only role you played was the punchline. The funniest part of this whole Sophie versus Sheldon fiasco is how predictably it played out. You could see Sheldon revving herself up like a car with a bad engine. Lots of noise, lots of shaking, but once she hit the gas, the whole thing broke down in the middle of traffic. That's the difference between being intense and being extra. Sophie Cunningham is intense. Jacy Sheldon? She's extra, like ordering pineapple on pizza and pretending it's a revolutionary idea. And let's just be honest, Sophie Cunningham thrives in chaos. Some players wilt when things get chippy, but Sophie seems to level up. It's almost unfair. Sheldon threw dirt, Sophie planted a garden with it. The way she turned the tables was so seamless you'd think she had been practicing specifically for this moment. Maybe she's got a calendar that just says Embarrass Sheldon Day circled in red.
Their game last year had great attendance and great energy, so I'm expecting the same tonight. But for myself, you don't take these opportunities for granted. It's always fun to go to a new arena and a new place and enjoy it, and I expect the same here tonight.
What makes it worse for Sheldon is how lopsided the energy was. Sheldon came with a truckload of effort, like a kid trying to cheat on a test with a massive note card. Sophie, meanwhile, came with casual dominance. And casual dominance is always more humiliating than forced effort. It's like when someone flexes about running a marathon, but then a grandma jogs past them eating a granola bar without breaking stride. That's Sophie. She didn't even need to break rhythm while dismantling Sheldon's tough girl act. This whole dirty hit thing was supposed to be Sheldon's moment of grit. Instead, it was her moment of gif. Within minutes, social media was flooded with clips, captions, and memes. Sheldon went viral, just not in the way she wanted. If humiliation had a Hall of Fame, Sophie just submitted her nomination video. And let's not downplay how this made Sophie look. She didn't just defend herself, she put an exclamation point on it. She basically told the league, if you're thinking about cheap shots, think again, because I'll turn you into an ESPN comedy segment. That's brand building at its finest. While Sheldon's building a brand of oops, Sophie's carving out a reputation as the league's ultimate clapback queen. It's poetic in a way. Sophie's career has been defined by energy, grit, and flair, and this moment fits right into her highlight reel. Sheldon, on the other hand, might want to pretend this game never happened. She might even delete her own name off the box score if she could. Unfortunately for her, YouTube exists. And so do thousands of fans who will never let her forget.
Trying to turn the corner. Oh, goes behind her back to find Howard.
She can face up. She can put it on the deck. She has a nice jump shot. She has everything.
But let's zoom out a little. This wasn't just about two players. This was about what the WNBA desperately thrives on, storylines. Sports need drama, and the Sophie Sheldon saga gave us exactly that. Fans don't just want to see points, they want to see sparks. And boy, did Sophie provide fire. She didn't just play defense, she set the entire narrative ablaze. Jacy Sheldon probably thought she was building a rivalry here. She wanted to establish herself as a competitor who doesn't back down. But rivalries don't work unless both sides bring equal firepower. Otherwise, it's just bullying in reverse. Sophie wasn't fighting a rival, she was swatting away a mosquito. That's the painful truth, Sheldon didn't elevate herself to Sophie's level. Some fans joked that Sheldon's next endorsement deal will be for stain remover, because Sophie left a permanent mark. Others said she should switch sports entirely, maybe badminton, something with less contact. One guy even suggested Sheldon take up knitting, since she clearly loves weaving herself into other people's highlight reels. You know it's bad when people are comparing your on-court presence to IKEA furniture, complicated, unstable, and guaranteed to fall apart when pressure is applied. That's where Sheldon's reputation is headed if she doesn't bounce back fast.
Tonight was a brawl, folks. Tonight was a brawl, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, is anybody on this team going to stand up for... And Sophie Cunningham.
Meanwhile, Sophie's reputation is only growing. She's the kind of player you don't just watch, you anticipate. Because you never know when she's going to turn a routine play into a viral clip. That unpredictability makes her dangerous, but also wildly entertaining. Every league needs players like her, the spark plugs, the disruptors, the ones who refuse to fade quietly into the background. Sophie is all of that wrapped into one. Sheldon probably walked off the court that night replaying the moment over and over in her head. And each replay got worse. You can't escape it. Sophie's clapback? Eternal. People will bring it up months from now. Every time Sheldon tries to puff her chest again, someone will casually remind her of the night Sophie made her look like an amateur. That's legacy-shattering stuff. But here's where it gets spicy, Sheldon's teammates probably felt it too. You know when you're on a group project and one person drags the whole squad down? That was Sheldon here. She didn't just embarrass herself, she embarrassed the brand. And Sophie didn't even need help, she humiliated Sheldon solo. That's the kind of thing teammates notice. Hey Jacy, maybe next time, don't poke the bear.
We had Caitlin Clark getting teed up involved in the incident. How does that happen? You've got Marina Mabrey just coming in and Mabrey just thrashing into Caitlin Clark, of course, slamming her to the ground. I've got a new angle of that, and it's even worse. It's even worse. The new angle on this is, it's like, whoa. And the fact that the referees didn't automatically throw her ass right out of that arena is exactly why
Sophie Cunningham is that bear. Scratch that. She's a bear with a sense of humor. She doesn't just maul, she makes it funny. That's rare. Most athletes who clap back look angry, but Sophie does it with flair. There's almost a wink in the way she shuts down opponents. Sheldon was doomed from the second she made her move. The funniest part is Sheldon's timing. Did she not do her homework? Did she not realize Sophie is literally built for these moments? At first, they're like, oh, a dirty hit. But seconds later, when Sophie flipped it, the vibe turned into, well, Sheldon walked right into that one. Suddenly your shots feel heavier, your steps slower, your brain louder. Sophie doesn't just beat you on the scoreboard, she rents space in your head for free. Sheldon will be thinking about Sophie the next time she even considers going for a risky play. That's dominance at its finest.
Riding her. Pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. Oh man, Caitlin Clark needs to start wearing goggles, folks. Caitlin Clark's gonna need to start wearing goggles. Bumps up on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark says, "Get your hands off me!" And then here comes Marina Mabrey. Boom! Exploding Caitlin Clark like a safety coming downhill in the NFL. There was no flop there. Marina Mabrey did a straight beeline run to Caitlin Clark and checked her. You got Lexi Hull saying, Jacy, what the hell is wrong with you? This was all game, folks. All.
But let's not sugarcoat it, Sheldon's dirty hit deserves the roasting. Cheap shots are the last resort of players who don't trust their actual skill set. It's basketball's version of slamming the controller when you're losing in a video game. Everywhere you go, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok, the clips are there. Sophie Cunningham turned you into trending content. Don't throw cheap shots, don't fake toughness, don't try to one-up her. Because she'll make sure you regret it, and the whole world will laugh with her. Jacy Sheldon learned that lesson the hard way. She signed up for a duel, but Sophie brought the fireworks.
The commissioner, Adam Silver, the NBA. Oh my goodness. All eyes on them because they're officiating and how they're handling this full-on assault of Caitlin Clark is a joke, and now everybody is fully aware. All right? We're not talking about basketball after these games. We're talking about incidents. I just said yesterday or the day before, we're talking about an incident once or twice a week, every week in this league. This was not physical play. That's Bush League bullshit. Street ball.
And the scoreboard may reset each game, but humiliation? That sticks. Sheldon is going to walk into arenas and see fans pointing, laughing, whispering. And Sophie will walk in knowing she wrote another chapter in her book of legendary clapbacks. The saga of Sophie humiliating Sheldon will live forever in the annals of basketball comedy. Because while points win games, moments like these win fans. And Sophie Cunningham just won an entire audience, because here's the eternal truth: dirty hits fade, but Sophie Cunningham's clapbacks? Those are forever. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.